Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the premiere for The Walking Dead Season 8. In this one, first we're going to give our thoughts on Chandler Riggs' reaction to reading the script for episode 100. And check out the new poster I got, right? Look at this! And spoiler warning, of course, if you're not caught up to the finale for The Walking Dead Season 7. I like it. It's fun. It's pretty fun. The only thing is it's white, so it stands out quite a bit, but I'm going to keep it at least for a little while. It's pretty awesome. So, so I'll put the link in the description to digitalspy.com, where we have kind of the reaction as well as to Chandler Riggs' Twitter. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably follow it already. And I have a Twitter too, by the way. If you didn't know that, you can follow me on Twitter. It's TrevChan2. So I'll put the link for that in the description as well too, so you guys can follow me. Follow me, I'll follow you back. That's the deal. So if you want me to follow you on Twitter, then follow me, and I'll follow you back. So he said, just finished reading 801 of The Walking Dead, and oh man, it's so good. So yeah, I mean, it should be pretty awesome. So I'm happy to hear that he likes it, and I think a lot of the cast and crew are getting their scripts now because they're starting production on Tuesday. So I did a video on that already this week on the production date and everything. So they're getting started, getting ready to work on the new season. It's going to be great. I did get some updated information from Dave from iHeartRadio, so I want to thank him. He mentioned that he did an interview, by the way. Maybe I'll link that in the description as well too, with Steven Ogg, who of course plays Simon in the show, and he basically said that with regards to the writer's strike, if they do go on strike, it looks like they'll be able to continue, but they won't be able to make changes. They'll kind of be locked up in terms of like writing changes and things like that. So definitely, I'll link that as well for you guys. You can check it out too, and you can kind of hear what he had to say about that. But basically, sounds like they kind of have to go in like set mode, where they kind of have to go with what they have, and they're kind of not supposed to, I guess, make writing changes after if they do strike. That kind of thing. So it's definitely kind of a fuzzy area there, but we'll have to see what happens. Let's hope that the Writers Guild does not strike. And I'll let you guys know in a couple weeks if they happen to. So your takeaways, episode 100 should be awesome. So first question for this one comes from the Vindicator, who says, "Hey Trev, are you getting bored of The Walking Dead yet? I am, but I still like your videos." And then Rick Grimes replied to him, "I think all the videos he's putting out is an understandable answer to that question." So yeah, that's true. It is. So no, I'm not. Obviously, this time of the year, there's not as much to talk about as there is when The Walking Dead is on and it's hot, and there's all kinds of news and trailers and things like that for it. So, of course, right now, there isn't as much as usual, but I still try my best to produce for you guys almost every day. Do we always have something, absolutely awesome to discuss or go over? Not always, but I want to keep busy. I want to produce for you guys and, keep on going and have fun with it because, it is my favorite hobby, is my favorite series ever is The Walking Dead. So, for me, it's still number one in terms of fandom and what I enjoy making videos on and watching the most, or rewatching or reading with the comics. So no, I haven't gotten bored of it at all. I never really have. I've always enjoyed the show that much. For me, it's just the best. I mean, compared to all the other shows I watch and comic book series I read. I mean, I try some other comics, but most of the time it's like, it's just not. I don't know. The Walking Dead is so good, especially the comics too. So yeah, it's just so good, man. So no, I'm not getting bored of it yet. I'm still enjoying it, still having a lot of fun with it for sure. And we have Nate Herman, who says, Rick needs to be in almost every episode of this next season. I felt this way since season 4. I think that we need to see most of the story through his eyes. Like you have said in your previous videos, we follow the story because Rick rebuilds humanity, or at least that's kind of my theory on it, is why we follow Rick, is to see him kind of jumpstart the rebirth of humanity or of civilization. I get a couple episodes without him, like a Negan episode, but there's no need for one character episodes like what we've seen with the B and C characters. What are your thoughts on that? So thanks, Trev, from Nate. So of course, when they do an episode without Andrew Lincoln, they don't have to pay him, so they can save some cash, right? Because they can kind of bottle that one off with different cast and crew, and they can just kind of pay them instead. So it helps with the budget, that kind of thing. I don't think Rick needs to be in all 16 extended episodes, but for All Out War, I would think he should be in at least probably 12. So, maybe around like 3/4, something like that. The other quarter, I think it's fine. If you have somebody to hold down the episode like Morgan or Maggie, kind of, but some people complain. They don't necessarily. I'm cool with it. I like to see Maggie episodes. Definitely like Morgan episodes. Maggie episodes are okay for me. Some people don't like them, but I think they're all right. Negan episodes, Negan episodes are pretty awesome because Negan's pretty funny, right? Negan's pretty comical, but I can't ignore that when he does get kind of his own episodes, sometimes the ratings are kind of questionable. So maybe like 1 a season or 2 a season or something like that. Like a flashback with Negan would be awesome. I would love to see that. But I don't know if casual fans actually would. I definitely would. Ezekiel is another one that can probably hold down, an episode, or you have him and Morgan together to kind of do it because he's, strong leader character, that kind of deal. So, if they have some Outpost battle episodes, I think it'd be okay if they have like Morgan and Ezekiel and Carol be in there as well too, of course, because it's Kingdom. So versus the Outpost like Gavin and Jared and the others, because they have enough, I think, of a crew there that it makes sense to have that feel like it's its own episode without Rick. So you might not need Rick for those, because I think those worked out pretty good, especially near the end of the season there with the last couple episodes with the Kingdom and Morgan's episode, which was let's say, is it 13 or 14? I want to say 13. Yeah, 13. So I like to see those ones. Of course, when you don't have Rick, I generally like to see the show with Rick, and most of my favorite episodes do have Rick in them. There's very few that don't feature Rick in some way, and that's because I think mainly Rick is my favorite character from the show, I want to say overall. Daryl's up there too, but I think when Daryl tries to they have their own episodes with Daryl, they don't seem to turn out as well as Rick's episodes. Maybe it's because they don't have enough of a supporting crew around Daryl. He's kind of more like a lone wolf type character, but it can work depending on how the writing works out. But yeah, you're right. Generally, the episodes that have Rick, I think, are some of the best episodes in the series. Then we have Teresa Orlandi, who says, "Hey Trev, I think Maria Bello could play Negan's comic wife. She's far too big an actress to play a random zombie or a random walker. Plus, I think she and JDM would play really well opposite each other. I'm hoping they do a Negan backstory this season. And if they do, she could definitely play Lucille. Thoughts? Thanks for continuing to do the videos over the long wait until season 8. So you got it, Teresa, absolutely. And that's a good call-out as well, too. That's somebody I didn't really think of. But she does look a lot like the comic version of Negan's wife, especially if they kind of, make her sick and have her wear the same kind of outfit as I'm trying to kind of dance around spoilers here. Negan's wife did in the Here's Negan series. Even though Here's Negan is not 100% finished yet, I personally would love to see a flashback episode with JDM, starring the whole episode. Now that's an episode where you could have Negan that would really work, is to flash it back and let us see how Negan became the leader of the Saviors. Let us see how he went from maybe regular zombie apocalypse, a survivor, or even prior, high school gym teacher or something, whatever, used car salesman, whatever they want to go with the TV series version of that, maybe both, and then have him transform over the course of that episode, in a flashback episode, into the leader of the Saviors. I think that would just be so great, and it might help, get him over a bit with the audience for, being kind of a more relatable character. If they see that side of him, they may kind of sympathize with him a little bit more than they are right now. I think a lot of viewers really don't like Negan because of the season 7 premiere. If they don't read the comics, then they might just hate Negan because he kind of seems like a big bad psychopath, jokes a lot even when he's killing people, and that kind of deal. If they did that, they could humanize him a bit. They could get some sympathy for him, and it could really help the character, and I think a lot more people might like him more if they got to see his journey and what happened to him and how he transformed in the world into the leader of the Saviors. So she would be great to see in that. That would be a small role. It would be like a one-time shot, and that might be like an episode 4, episode 5, flashback episode, something like that is usually where they put those. So I'm looking for that this season. I want to see it, and we'll see if that's what they end up doing. Brandon Neer says, "Hey Trev, do you miss Dale from season 2? I miss seeing him a lot in the series." So yeah, man, he was really cool. Jeffrey DeMunn, right, as Dale in both the Walking Dead TV series and comic series. In the comics at a time, he was one of my more liked characters. I have an action figure in the background actually of the Dale, one of the McFarlane figures. He comes with like a lawn chair, which is funny. Yeah, I miss seeing Dale in the series. He's a really cool character in terms of like drama and just kind of a jolly old kind of guy to have around, a sense of humanity in the group and voice of humanity and reason. And, you know, he's a great character, but maybe he doesn't fit with The Walking Dead, you know, as much as you might like to think that he does. You know, over the seasons, of course, even if he didn't want out of the show in season 2, so he got killed off, even if he didn't voluntarily want out after what happened with Frank Darabont, they probably would have killed him off. You know, they definitely would have killed him off by now anyway, I would think. There's very little chance he would still be alive right now if he had not been killed there. He would have been killed anyway. So I do miss seeing characters like that in the show, but you can always go back and watch them again. And I think it also, over the seasons, it kind of shows how difficult it is to survive in the zombie apocalypse when you look back at characters like Dale and Herschel, and you kind of think, what does it take to be someone to survive? And that's not necessarily what it is. I mean, if you're older, if you're not quite there, not all there, it can be pretty tough, unless you're someone like Eugene and you have questionable morals and values, right? And you might be able to make it work, right? If you're a really good con artist as well, too, that can be effective. Billy Jean says, hey, Trev, had to send this one twice because I really want to hear your thoughts. Did you notice any A that stood out this season? So they put Easter eggs in the episodes for people that are new. Sometimes they'll put A's in the episodes in that. There's even an episode called A, and there's Easter eggs around with that train cart and stuff like that. So did you notice anything that stood out this season? The only one I can really think of off the top of my head is where you see Daryl and he's in the Savior's place and he's taken prisoner. He's got it on his shirt. Now some people think, well, it stands for Alexandria. It's like, yeah, that makes sense too. That for him they would put an A on it because it's like, okay, he's from Alexandria, and then maybe the others are from some other community or something. So they can kind of like label them based on that. But yeah, I think that was a pretty cool Easter egg. But I can't think of any other A's this season aside from that one, really. B-Wolf20 says, hey, Trev, do you think there could ever be a point where Maggie gets a chance to confront Negan? I thought about it after seeing many people voting for Maggie to kill him off. If it's possible that could happen, how do you think it would play out? Keep up the great work. So I've said it before. I'll say it again. Even though Rick has made his threats and everything like that, and he wants to kill Negan, if anybody is to kill Negan, there's nobody better than Maggie. I think Maggie is the best person for that, if they're going to kill him off, to do it. Or even if they win in the battle and they capture him or something, for her to like knock him out or something, that'd just be cool. That'd be really cool, you know, to see that. So that's kind of the way I want to see it play out. I'm hoping for the TV series they don't kill Negan off for a very long time. I'm hoping he's here if they get to season 14 or 15. I'm hoping, you know, if you want to kill Negan off around, you know, 13, 14, 15, that'd be cool. But I'm hoping he's going to be in the show for a long time. I know we're only in, you know, 8 now, the end of 7. So that's a ways away, but that's what I would want to see. I want to see Negan around for a while, and you know, JDM is doing a great job as him, so I want to see him continue for a long time. I would not want to see him be killed off, you know, right now or in season 8 or season 9. He's just too much fun, man. He's too much fun to have around. You could put him in the background, you know, captive or something, but I wouldn't want to see him be killed. So maybe eventually, if Maggie's the one to kill him, if he double crosses the group or something later, or something happens and he escapes and then they have to kind of hunt him down and kill him, I'd like to see Maggie be the one to do it, personally. I don't really care how. If she just shoots him, that's fine. If she hangs him, that's fine. If she Lucille's him or something, takes his own bat against him, that'd be cool too. But you know, either way, if they were able to do that, I would like that best. So keep sending me your questions, guys. If you want to see the daily Walking Dead videos continue, I need you guys to send them to me, and video suggestions as well. Send them to me through the About tab of the channel. Click the channel name below, click About, and send through your questions for the daily Q&As. Now's the best time to send them through, guys. If you want to get one of your questions answered in a video, now's the time to do it, because I don't get as many as I do during the regular season for Walking Dead. And add me on Twitter. Like I said, guys, check out the links in the description. Add me up, and that'll be it for this one. If you guys liked it, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you again soon. For another, as always, is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you tomorrow.